Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching ESL Pro League Season 12. We're here with the group stage of the North American division here today. You just watched Triumph take the first map of the series against Team Liquid. And, well, we're getting right into this pistol round to get this second map started on Overpass. A nice, exciting one. Liquid, they've already taken this B bomb site, but Triumph still have 3 players at the ready. They've not spotted out Naf, and that might actually be their demise, as he finally does get taken away. A 2 versus 3.
A very doable 2 versus 3 as they both come in from Monster, somewhat unsuspected, but now they're spotted out and they have to find 3 of these Glock players, and it's not going to happen. Stewie, 2 clean headshots to finish things off. Liquid put their first round on the board here over on Overpass, and well, I think this one might be going the distance, Squid. When you look at the fact that this is Liquid's map pick, they're very, very strong historically here on Overpass. The same really can't be said for Triumph. We did see a lot of promise from them on Inferno, but going on to a map like this, you've surely got to favour Liquid. And if that's the case, then we'd be going to that third and final map of Nuke. I certainly wouldn't have anticipated this one to go to the third, but that's looking like where we might be headed unless Triumph can pull off a miracle here.
Absolutely, and it was similar scenes against C9 yesterday on Overpass, for instance. They pick up that first map and Team Liquid have to play a longer 3-mapper, making things a little more difficult for themselves to finish off a series of this matter. 1-0 though for them. And getting off to that good start against this CT side once again. This is before where Triumph was able to assert some control, get back on the board, and actually get things rolling ever so slightly. I remember Liquid just taking this one slowly towards toilets. They're actually walking into somewhat of a stack towards the A-bomb site. 4 of the 5 members for Triumph towards this side of the map. And the majority of them with body armor as well. The only player who hasn't is Junior on the scout. He hasn't got Kevlar to back him up, but that makes sense. He wants to, pick up that early AWP, of course. That always, makes complete sense to me. 1-0 nonetheless, as Liquid, they start their slalom on through.
The time pressure starts to mount, and it's Penny to take first contact. Sheikh Zulu is able to trade it out. We find ourselves in a 4-on-4. Still so many CTs burrowed away on this A-bomb site. The bomb should be able to go down, but with 20 seconds left to spare, Twist finds himself one more, and that should just secure it. Junior and Ryan, they've got nothing left to bring into round number 2. Now just going to have to fall back, save what they've got on their backs. That looked dangerous as Liquid, they continued to allow that time pressure to mount with 30 seconds left. Then they start to push into a 4-man Deagle stack. We've seen time and time again those Deagles do tons of work. I started to fear for them, but they came through, took a fair amount of damage, but won the gunfights, and they will be able to comfortably put this second on the board with 4 players staying alive.
And the obvious factor there for Liquid was just the lack of information there on the A-bomb site. It forces them to win all of these gunfights, taking away, of course, that scout, really just pressuring it back into more passive lines. And they do find the bomb plant nonetheless, 2-0. And now what should seemingly be a much easier round going into the third. 4 unarmored players, only Ryan with the Kevlar, that Deagle as well to just back him up. And this nasty taser, the Zeus, being the only other investment going into round number 3. The Zeus, Josh, is actually my favourite weapon in the whole game. I do love to see it. See, we see some zappy action. Zappity zap. See, if our observer was really on the ball right now, he'd be watching this taser and nothing else. Maybe I have to bribe the ESL observers to really give us that taser action at all times. Give them like 10% of the paycheck.
Yeah, we love to see it. We very rarely see Zeus kills come through. We see them pulled out very often. You have to be super close to be able to convert with that weapon. Once again, Liquid are actually walking into somewhat of a stack from Triumph here. If anyone gets a little bit too aggressive, Penny might be able to punish. Up close and personal with the P250 is good for 1. The trades are actually coming through, and this full eco is doing a hell of a lot of damage. A 3 versus 3 as Team Liquid start to backtrack and go back over towards B. In doing so, they will be able to get this bomb down, more than likely convert the round, but a couple of weapons retrieved here for Triumph. This has been a pretty decent eco for them so far.
Especially with that Galil retrieved. I would only assume that Moose wants to carry it through into round number 4. There's another Galil for their troubles as well. This means more minimal reinvestments for Triumph. They don't have to buy up 2 of those extra M4s that they'd been pressured to actually go for in the first place. And Junior can really get rid of the Scout if he necessarily wants to. I don't know if he'll just cling on to that one into the opening rifle round as well. The one issue for them is that actually puts them in a bit of a sticky situation where, yeah, you have to contend this next round with a Galil here and a Scout there. One big question mark for me is, does Junior throw this much weaker sniper right in the bin? And he does. There it goes, right in the trash, as the Americans say. I need to pick up this American lexicon, don't I, M&J? Especially for these NA broadcasts. He throws it in the trash can.
Trash can. The garbage. That's another one.
The garbage.
Wow. 3-0. Liquid, they've come off to a very, very good start. But this is now the buy time for Triumph. An AWP in the hands of Junior, rifles all around on his teammates. They need to try and find this one. If they can't convert it, Liquid are able to continue this aggression, continue to apply this pressure. And Triumph, they've expended a lot of their utility very, very early on. Not a whole lot to work with left here. Still a sufficient amount, but given up a lot of control, not finding that early pick, being flashed off the angles. Just leaves Penny all alone in toilets to try and hold up this control for now. No one contesting connector either. Liquid are being given a lot of legroom here.
Not that they're necessarily taking it anywhere else except this A long area. With Elige then pressuring inside, I would assume Triumph is heavily aware that this could potentially be on the cards. You see, just from the toilets, they have got this angle that they can snap back and take away one of the prongs of this Liquid attack, especially with Junior's AWP being initially spotted. He gets forced into more passive lines, and now he has to watch A long particularly strongly, especially with those smokes in place towards the A bomb site. I'd be expecting him to actually look towards long right now. Instead, they are re-aggressing into this sidelining angle, and it pays off for him. He spots the bomb, finds Grim. That's a key member taken away. And now Penny, between the attack, is able to find another one before dropping. The HP advantage firmly in Triumph's favor, but Liquid, they're finding the kills left, right, and center. Smoke placed, but the bomb down in the open leaves Ryan in a doable 1v1. Now needs to prevent this from going down. Stewie tries to tap the digits in, but that will be Triumph's first.
Stewie makes the wrong call there. If he tries to plant behind the boxes, he might have just been allowed to get away with it and get a peek in just before Ryan gets through. But going for the plant onto Optimus, it's all too easy for Ryan. 6 seconds left on that clock. There's no way he's faking it. And Triumph, very, very narrowly, are able to put their first on the board here. They can invest off of it. They won't actually have as much cash as they had in the last, despite the fact that they won the round. So a couple of FAMASs coming through. Still fairly limited utility on a couple of these players as well. But we see much of the same from Liquid. Galil, no AWP available. Nonetheless, Elige, with that aforementioned weapon, finding that opener.
Yeah, you can always feel sorry for Stewie in that sort of situation. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Team Liquid just absolutely wrecking face towards this B bomb site. A nice gnarly nade from Sheikh Zula brings it back into the realm of contention, but then gets slapped right away from the B bomb site. That's going to end this 5th round, 4-1. Pretty easy round on the board there for Liquid. They seem to be a lot more ferocious here on Overpass. These pushes have been overwhelmingly successful with pretty much, well, definitely the opportunity for this to be a 5-0 scoreline right now. We saw that only came down to the 1v1 with a couple of seconds left on the board. It's a really unenviable situation. And now Penny might actually go down with this AWP. He's got 2 members of Liquid just challenging, encroaching on this position. They should be able to spot him out here with the gun barrel being spotted. That's all of the information confirmed. And now Grim, he is the Grim Reaper. And that's exactly why. 4-1, no AWP saved. This forces maximum reinvestment that Triumph absolutely cannot afford going into round number 6. They've got $2,000 to $4,000 in their pockets. Not enough for a full buy on the CT side. Means the full save M&J. Luckily for them, I guess this loss bonus has actually built up to quite a substantial amount. They'll have $3,400 going into the next round as well. At this point with Liquid asserting quite a bit of control all over the map.
Absolutely. It's Liquid really controlling the pace this time. They're looking a lot more confident here on Overpass. Of course, taking that initial 3, Triumph bounces back with 1 win in the buy round. And Liquid just snatch it away from them once again, keeping 4 players alive as well. Works wonders for their bank. And with Grim just tearing through these pistols right now. If they can maintain these players, if they can bring that AWP into the next as well, it'll be really good for Liquid. They've already got 2-3K on 4 of the 5 of these players right here. And another $3,000 in the bank of all of them would be fantastic.
Yeah, this is a money-burning round for Liquid, where they just have to allow this economy to boulder. If they survive with everybody alive, you'll see them get towards this $5,000-$6,000 mark on 4 of their players, with Grim taking the lion's share of the prize in these first few rounds. And looks to be a very successful effort towards the A bomb site. These unarmored pistols just being torn away. Nothing really Junior or Moose can do in this 2 versus 5, apart from perhaps post for a little bit of damage, especially with the Deagle in hand. You know that Junior is entirely capable. And moving in from bank, he needs to cash in on a little bit of aggression from Liquid. I cannot see it happening, though, even with this angle posted. Grim's able to sweep him away. Very clean effort from Liquid here in round number 6. Looks to be all 5 players surviving. I don't think this P250 should be able to do all too much.
Nor do I. Miles away from the action. Nothing really to save. I think maybe just hoping that someone gets a little bit over-aggressive and he can punish them for it. I suppose he's got nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Just chilling on the slide in the playground, Squid. He's having fun. I think he is actually going to push for a kill at the end here. Might just find it as well. Can't retrieve that AK, unfortunately, but deals a bit of damage to Team Liquid's economy with it.
I like Moose's picture. He's a little mini Moose. 5-1. Expecting to see Liquid snowball onto a couple of further rounds. The first tactical timeout called. This allows both of the coaches to get involved, get engaged. It's something we didn't really see Liquid do back on Inferno. Might have actually played to their detriment, as obviously Moses only really got involved in that final round of the whole map. Maybe a little bit too late. I'm actually slightly unsure on the rules here, if the coaches are allowed to do any talking while these rounds are live. I know that they're all moderated on individual TeamSpeak servers, so I guess they've got admins involved actually listening to all of the action, keeping everybody under tabs. It's very heavily moderated, especially with so much money on the line, so much prestige on the line as well. Remember, the winners of ESL Pro League, it's one of these kind of like Grand Slam level events where you get towards that final, that global challenge at the end of the year, just recently announced, with just a total of millions and millions of dollars up for grabs on the line. And Team Liquid certainly in contention to be one of the top teams to try and take the prize there. Triumph now need a change of pace going into round number 7. 4M4A4s at the ready. That single AWP for Junior. We did actually see Sheikh Zula picking up some of the sniper rifle duties back on Inferno. Overpass is slightly different. You do see a lot of retake scenarios. Sometimes having a double AWP configuration can play to your detriment once again. And I love that from Liquid. You actually see that double set play with Grim getting all of the information, calling it in to, I think, Naf, who's able to spray away through those paper-thin wooden railings to do a fair amount of damage onto Ryan there. Great communication from Liquid, and it puts them slightly ahead in these initial duels.
Well, they need to start to speed this one up. There's spooky stuff coming in from behind Sheikh Zula and Ryan on this very, very long flank from B. Nice setup posted in toilets here as well. Triumph can just hold the time for a little bit longer, they might allow this flank to come through, but Twist, a double kill, completely denies it. Moose needs to hold this one up, not going to happen. A 1-for-1 trade, Naf's going to take care of him. Ryan, though, is finally here. And in finding that kill, being assertive just with his presence, it is going to delay that bomb plant for a few seconds. But I don't think it's going to cause Liquid too many issues. Ryan gets taken care of. Sheikh Zula, well, he is unannounced, and he's got the element of surprise. He's able to find Grim, deals tons of damage onto Naf, but with just 2 points of health to spare, he's able to pick up the round. 6 on the board for Liquid, and another incredibly close 1-versus-1 scenario. We've seen so many of them so far this series, and this time it's not Triumph pulling ahead in it.
Yeah, that's the first change of pace that we really see coming onto Overpass. It was Triumph winning all of those 1v1s, 1vx situations back on Inferno. That has really changed here on Overpass, with Liquid actually picking up the majority of those engagements, seemingly a lot more confident here on Overpass. Those 1vx situations, pulling them through pretty routinely right now and forcing Triumph back onto these pistols for another time, which is easily dispatched of. You see that nade damage being dealt. The Deagle's at the ready to find a couple of kills, with Sheikh Zula also showing up to the party, allowing Junior a little bit of space from behind. This now gets complicated from Liquid if they want to get back into B, and Naf, he's got all of the information, he even knows where Junior's playing from. A fast plant, and at the 70-second mark, that C4 goes away.
He's done an incredible job of recovering this round so far, but with Junior with an AK in hand, an opportunity for Triumph, but it's not taken. Naf clutches up the 1-versus-3, puts a 7th on the board for Team Liquid, and they are looking so much more confident here on Overpass. Of course, with Triumph being a map up, this is their opportunity to take their first win of the season. And, well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to say here. We saw them pretty confident, in fact, incredibly confident on Inferno. And I thought to myself, if that momentum, if that confidence carries across here on Overpass, they've certainly got a chance. That's just not the case. Team Liquid have applied so much pressure. Now another buy round from the CT side, but again, look at this aggression so early on. The fights come through, the trades go even, and a 3-versus-3 as Team Liquid press further.
But it's the double ups at the ready. A no-scope from Sheikh Zula puts Twist in a 1-versus-3 this time, as he needs to isolate all of these members. 2 headshots, not good enough. As Triumph able to, just safety in numbers, completely roll over the top of that B bomb site. You saw how snappy and quick those rotations were there from Triumph. Finally solving the puzzle and working out the solution to that riddle that Team Liquid have been posing. That speed and momentum towards the B bomb site hasn't fallen on deaf ears all too many times, and now Triumph, now with a bit of a change of pace, they put 4 players towards that side of the map. The 5th is hot on their heels. They do actually lose one of those AWPs there. Those kills that Twists is able to find in the 1-versus-X, the 1-versus-3 situation, in fact, they're really impactful. It keeps the Triumph economy low, means that they have to invest into 4 out of 5 of these rifles with only the AWP saved. And that's definitely a much different situation, much more costly than surviving with 3 players alive, having that first real rollover round of this first half. And now they've got to do it all over again from the start. Otherwise, it'll be Liquid forcing them back into eco territory, into force buy territory once again, where they will have to pick up these pistols one further time. Yeah, really sketchy situation.
Yeah, all things considered, Twist did incredibly well there to find those 2 kills in that 1-versus-3 situation. Makes it costly for Triumph, and it was actually a pretty sensational second headshot as well. Finding the man advantage in round number 10 here, actually goes straight back the other way, just as I say it, Squid. Penny's got super aggressive over towards Long. As he presses on further, wrapping around Playground 2, he can hear all of these sound cues and relay this to his teammates, but it means nothing if his teammates can't win the gunfights as Moose falls. Junior doing work, but can't convert on the second. And Liquid once again take the man advantage as they push onto this A-bomb site, but Penny still keeping it at bay. 20 seconds on the clock, needs to do more work, finds himself a second, and it leaves it all down to Stewie once again. Can he pull off another clutch for Team Liquid?
They've been routinely winning these, and he now has a powerful position burrowed inside of Bank, and Triumph have so many particular angles just they're trying to cipher before they can defuse this bomb. Stewie now with the powerful position to isolate the CTs, but Penny hits the all-important headshot to put that third on the board. Now the defuse can come through from Sheikh Zula. He's got the defuse kit as well, so no panic for Triumph as they put their third on the board.
Once again, a dangerous situation, but they recover it nicely. Slowly but surely closing this gap. Chipping away at the economy of Liquid. I'm not sure how much longer they'll have money in the bank here. We go into the 11th. Triumph, they've really not had the best of CT side so far here on Overpass, but they've started to come back at a time where it's recoverable. If they allow Liquid to get to 10, 11 rounds early on, then you start to sign away the half. But 7-1, very, very recoverable. They're certainly showing that here, especially with Junior. Ooh, not quite connecting. The no-scope goes for a second. A little bit of a whiff there from Twist. Nonetheless, Liquid, very, very little to work with, and Triumph should be able to put this one to bed.
Very convincing round as well. That's the change of pace that they really need on this CT side. Fourth on the board, 4 players surviving, gives that economy an initial chance to bolster away. Team Liquid, even the rounds that they've been losing, they've been pushing them incredibly close. On to 7 to start. That's already good enough on your T side of Overpass. But obviously looking for a couple more before this one comes to a close. They've got 4 more opportunities to put some more rounds on the scorecard. And Triumph, again, with a pretty decent buy. They've got all 5 smoke grenades. Those incendiaries initially going down. 3 still in the reserve. And that's a bit of a whiff from Junior to get us started here. As Naf deals the damage, falls back. Junior already onto 17 points of health.
This buy up here from Liquid. Not the healthiest of buys we've seen from them so far this map. No AWP available. Not a lot of utility on many of these guys. And Grim just down to that Galil. They're taking a lot of control over towards A, though. 3 players stacked up over towards Long. 2 near the toilets. Triumph, they have to be careful.
Careful being a massive keyword there. They don't want to give away this opening frag to Liquid and let this A bomb site defense crack. That could have been an opportunity. Junior playing the angle incredibly aggressive towards Long with only 17 points of health. Actually quite lucky that a Liege is caught with his pants down with the nade out, but neither player ready to take the shot. And now Penny's the first man in contention instantly gets swept away. And now this defense should start to fall apart, Josh. With Junior just on a couple of points of health. Moose holding up the line sensationally. Does pick up 2 kills and puts this back in contention. The Molotov actually prevents the plant for a couple of moments. But now Twist can get this bomb down and away in the safety of this A bomb site. And Triumph momentarily held at bay from within Bank, this CT area, down these stairs, and Team Liquid behind these smoke grenades, just ready to post the angle with a Liege, just comfortable to take these shots. He's stood out in the open. He doesn't even care. He knows that as soon as this push comes through, he's going to hit absolutely everything. And it's always nice to have a man this confident, but maybe misplaced as he is the first to fall. He's got Twist to pick up the pieces, and Sheikh Zula gets instantly eviscerated through the very corner of that smoke. 8-4 for Liquid.
Very, very nice stuff. They run down the clock quite low. Starts to get dangerous. You think there's an opportunity here if Triumph can hold this one up for another 10 seconds or so. Wait for those rotations to come in. They've definitely got a chance. But Liquid, they got all the kills they needed, won all of those gunfights. They're able to put their 8th on the board. And once again, force Triumph down to one of these pistol buys. This should be somewhat of a freebie for Liquid. I don't want to speak too soon because there are some pistols and a little bit of Kevlar here for this CT side to work with. But 9 times out of 10, this should be a clean round for Liquid. That would put them on to 9. An opportunity at 10, maybe 11. Either way, it's a fantastic half from them. And a very different side to what we saw on Inferno.
Yeah, we're starting to see the real Liquid, that pressure that they always put on their opponents, namely on this T side where they can control the pace. Triumph, a reactive CT side. We've not really seen too much aggression from them on Overpass. You're all about those fast rotates on your CT side. We've seen it once or twice, but again with the pistols, we really do expect Liquid to get one step closer to double digits and maybe even just close this map out incredibly early. 8 is already way too many to give away on your CT side here. You'd be expecting Liquid to just feel great about this, go into their second half with a lot of confidence, and Naf doesn't even need a rifle for the job. Instantly just picks apart the brains of Moose with Sheikh Zula falling too. And look at this consistency from Liquid. All of the kills going their way. A couple of frags back in Triumph's favor, but Penny, a 1 versus 3 situation, which he's unable to carry through. And again, Liquid, that aforementioned scoreline, 9-4. It's getting a little bit rusty for Triumph.
It really is. This is danger time. This is where it starts to get scary. They need to pull back the next couple here, otherwise Liquid can take 10, 11 rounds. As you say, that's far too many, and keeping 3 alive in the last gives them that premium to work with in this round. They've got cash behind them that even if Triumph can win this buy up, Team Liquid will still have a buy left in the bank. Very, very important round for this CT side to take. Really nice aggression early on over towards middle, but Alicia's going to punish it. And with those flashbangs, Junior actually can't trade it, can't provide any support for his teammate. That is a incredibly coordinated play there from Liquid. And it's played to the team. Very, very nice stuff to open things up here in the 14.
I think what's most interesting about Liquid, they do have Stewie actually taking the reins as that main caller, and he's always struck me as a bit of a confidence player. Obviously, most famous for pushing through smokes, being a bit of an X factor on this Team Liquid side, dating back to all of these previous teams that he's played on. And getting towards the end of this half, he's picking up that sniper rifle once again, actually wanting not quite the double AWP setup, but Elige keeping it in play for maybe Stewie to utilize. Remember, they have Naf taking up the AWPing duties the majority of the time, but with Stewie behind the driver's wheel, he's going to be making those calls, Josh. He's going to be saying, right, okay, I'm going to warp this round, and that's all down to the confidence that he brings to the table. And when Liquid, the rounds are rolling away like this, it gives Stewie even more power to go for these plays, to pick up the AWP himself, to force Naf off it, and when he's actually playing his best CS, that's a big advantage here. I don't want to see him get into a slump and start AWPing all of the time, but Liquid kind of have this seesaw, this balance where he can feel confident, pick up that sniper, and then when he's missing his shots, he can drop it over to Naf. It can be that consistent sniper rifle as well. So that's a bit of a change-up that we've seen from Liquid over the last couple of months, whereas before, maybe Naf was just a primary AWPer. We'd see him on it near enough 100% of the time. Now with Stewie on the reins, it changes the dynamics of this Liquid side a little bit. And that might be a change that Moses is entirely comfortable with.
It can be very, very dangerous when you have 2 very confident snipers on a roster. Somewhat brings me back to those golden days of Fnatic, for example, with JW as that main sniper, but Olaf throughout his career increasingly became more confident on it, would pick it up far more often. It meant that when JW was having a bit of an off game, Olaf could pick it up. He could pick up that secondary sniper in those rounds where they do go for a double setup as well. It seems to be working very well for Liquid here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that confidence factor, and when they're winning, Stewie will feel more confident and want to pick up that AWP a little bit more, especially on a map like Overpass where you have those longer distance engagements where you can take the firefight to your opponents. This time, instant flick just misses by a whisker. Grim's there to pick up the pieces, and this half should be over. I expect this to go 11-4 right now. Penny doesn't even have a defuse kit to work with. This is Liquid just really cementing the scoreline at the end of play. We're going to go to a very short break before we get back into the action. A couple of minutes before the second half of Overpass.
Got too much up on my plate, now I can't think. I said woke up, take a extra, now I'm feeling this is it. Want the money, want the rest. I do purse, not no cess. They say Donish, why you sad? I said I just need to think. Red tape, got too close, I hate the city. Black face, show you everything you need to your phone, can't hit it back. Someone said it's sad, cause I used to want it bad. I know it's in my head, keep seeing you too many times, yeah. I know it's in my head, keep seeing you. I know it's in my head. Follow me around, okay, black face, hey. Follow me around, okay, got too much up on my. Follow me around, okay, black face, hey. Follow me around, okay, got too much up on my. Follow me around, okay, black face, hey. Follow me around, okay, got too much up on my. Follow me around, okay, black face, hey. Follow me around, okay, got too much up on my. Follow me around, okay, black face, hey. Follow me around, okay, got too much up on my. Follow me around, okay, black face, hey. Follow me around, okay, got too much up on my. On this day, I take my place in this legacy of dust. I ricochet all in your face, and it quenches my bloodlust. Nothing you can do can break me. I wanna move, can break me. I know you're trying to take me on. Nothing you can do can break me. I wanna move, can break me. I know you're trying to take me
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're in with the second half, Liquid versus Triumph. And we're getting right into this action in the next couple of seconds. This pistol round already being a little bit of a barn burner. Just a bit of chaos thrown into the mix by Liquid. Getting completely just cut off at the stem. Bomb easily going down. And Naf only finds one more for his troubles before this attempted retake comes through.
Triumph, a huge change of pace here in this second pistol. And a very, very important round for them to pick up. It may be too little too late. That's just something that we'll have to wait and see. What's looking very unlikely is Team Liquid's possibility of actually clutching up this round. Time is of the essence. There's no chance of them finding these frags, and it's actually Ryan to pick up the final two. Triumph do put that second pistol down. 5-11 they now sit. They certainly have an opportunity to close this gap, but it's a very big one to close.
Yeah, this again is a difficult situation, but made possible by that pistol put on the board from Triumph there. I think this map is pretty swiftly over if they lose it. Team Liquid get on to 12 and then a potential 13, 14 rounds. It's just too much to come back from. 11-5 does put together the possibilities for a bit of a comeback here for Triumph. They are still, significant underdogs here in the second map of the day, especially against Liquid, who are going to be feeling confident. This is a bit sketchy, right through these smokes. Luckily catching off Eligius, the second man. Dispatching of these two aggressive CTs. Gives a red carpet into this A bomb site. C4 can very easily go down here. Ryan's going to be on number duty. As Team Liquid just wants a little bit of damage, potentially just keeping these triple pistols alive. Maybe even just salvaging an SMG for their troubles right there. Gives them 4 weapons to work with. Going into the third round of the half. Usually you'd just be carrying through unarmored USPSs, a couple of P250s if you're lucky, if you're feeling like you want to splash the cash. But right here, they'll have significantly more to work with.
A relatively clean round here from Triumph, keeping all these guys alive. Of course, this was a full investment from Team Liquid. It was just the pistols in Kevlar. We have seen them do tons of damage with it in the past. Now they only need to close out 5 in a row to go level. This is the thing. They just slowly chip away at it, play it around at a time. If you try and look at the bigger picture too much, it's really demoralizing. But if you say, let's just play it around at a time, they should be allowed a freebie here as they go against... Once again, it will be a couple of armored pistols, couple of players that will most likely just be on an eco. You can start to just chip away at this a little bit more, and all of a sudden you're within 2 or 3, and it becomes doable. Round number 18 now. And they just have to make sure they keep these ones clean. Try to take as few casualties as possible and build up that bank. And, well, they fancy their chances over towards the B site in doing so.
Unfortunately for Triumph, Liquid has all of the information, and the SMG initially gets isolated. Junior there to pick up the pieces. So simple stuff and a nice clearance from Triumph there. This should solidify 7 rounds as the headshots come through left, right, and center, leaving just Elige hunting for a rifle or so here in the 1 versus 4, just to hold the angle, perhaps able to steal away a face. Elige always strikes me as the man who can find just 1 more kill than any other player might achieve in a situation. Right now he doesn't really need one. Just heading towards the A bomb site, which is completely unguarded by Triumph. Of course, just trying to keep as many of these rifles alive. If they're going to lose anybody here, they'd probably want it to be Ryan's P90. A weapon that we don't often see, M&J. This P90 goes fairly underused in this iteration of CSGO. Players maybe prioritizing the MAC-10 on the T side. Maybe even the UMP, I think, gets a little more play than the other P90. Nevertheless, we'll see a full buy round from both squads. Sheikh Zula, he's on P90 duty. So a lot of spraying and playing with the... You can't really call it a hose. I feel like that title has been taken by the PP Bison. But 4 rifles for Liquid here. A fairly wholesome buy. Just strapped for the HEs. Only the 1 incendiary on the CT side. That leaves them without too much utility to work with. With lots of time on the board, those initial smokes go down, preventing a rush onto that B-bomb site. And with the rifles at the ready, needless to say, Triumph probably just want to be picking apart these CTs instead. Just slowly hunting for an opening frag. Not that they'll find one with Liquid playing such a passive defense towards the B-bomb site. No flash and push combination coming through. Just the smokes holding them at bay before this push comes in.
Well, with all the tools available here for Liquid, it's going to be a much harder defense to break, and that's proving true. Grim able to find himself 2 on the entry before Junior trades it out. 4 versus 3, minute left on the clock, and the bomb in no man's land. A mammoth task for Triumph to push in and try and retrieve it, but Junior is doing the dirty work, levels it back out, level pegging. Now they just need to find more. A fantastic headshot from Moose. Now a 3 versus 2. The bomb's still out in the open, and Twist is able to hold it up, but as the trade comes through, Moose finds the final, and Triumph recover what I would have considered an unwinnable round. That is fantastic stuff. Now they're within 3.
Yeah, that's really disappointing from Liquid there on the B bomb site. You see the anti-flash is actually playing favorably for them at the very start, with Grim able to steal away a couple of kills against his ex-teammates. Unfortunately, Triumph winning those final gunfights, keeping Liquid at bay, and they don't even need to get the C4 down to put the pressure on that 8th round, and really drawing things closer to level here on the T side, putting the pressure on once again. And trying to challenge for this 2-0 instead of going to nuke all 3 maps in this series might not be a possibility, especially with Naf just nailing that first headshot. Shouldn't be too challenging around for Triumph, but they don't want to give these pistols even an inch. You know, Liquid will take a mile or perhaps a couple of miles. You know that they absolutely know how to use these pistols. These are the abusive combinations that they commonly throw through to try and steal away a face or two. Instead, with Triumph, if they head towards this A bomb site here, should be a little easier, but with Elige swiping away that rifle, should be able to pick up an AK now. Gives him body armor and this rifle to work with, and Triumph clutching at straws to get towards this B bomb site in the 3 versus 4.
Absolutely know that they do have the firepower advantage, but oh my, an incredible 1D from Twist there, and another. You cannot fault it. What was looking like a relatively easy round for Triumph to pick up has just fallen away. That is incredible stuff from Twist there. That is going to be the 12th now for Liquid, and what a round for them to take. That is incredible.
You cannot catch your breath, not against Twists for 1 second when he's got that hand cannon in the palm of his hand. 12-8 for Liquid, and a half that was looking down in the dumps now comes to life once again. A 4-round lead. Triumph still stuck on 8, and this is where the economy starts to play a bit of a factor. If Team Liquid can string together just 2 in a row, then perhaps they can close this overpass out sooner rather than later. The smokes go away to start off proceedings. You've got Naf on the AWP once more instead of Stewie. This is what we were talking about before, Josh, where Stewie, it's that confidence factor when he's not feeling it as much. Maybe on the CT side where they need that level of consistency thrown into the mix. They can put Naf on the sniper and then obviously find these initial shots. I love that little boost over. It gives Grim quite a powerful angle to work with. I don't think he actually has the initial advantage as they move through the little underpass position there. But yeah, he's got so much ground control towards this B bomb site. Triumph can't just execute onto this B site like they did before. Instead, you see they're not really strapped for utility. They've got 3 smokes in play, but they're extinguishing them quite quickly. And with the Molotov actually going amiss, doesn't clear out any of these all-important angles towards the A bomb site and just allows Liquid to stay posted. That nade will also go to waste, as Liquid actually have quite a nice defense to try and hold up this setup. They don't actually have anybody on the B bomb site, but Grim can communicate this through quite early, and they need to watch for Twists beside the sandbags.
As they swarm into the site, they have now been spotted from heaven. That info can be relayed and Twist can start dealing damage, but as his teammates are falling him around him, he has to watch 2 angles at once, and it's not going to work out for him. All of a sudden, it's become a 4 versus 1. Naf, the last man alive, and he has to fall back and save this orb. There's no chance for him to find himself anything here. There are 2 players that are low HP, so he could maybe punch him for some damage before he falls away, but he has to be careful. Right now, gone for the boost. Penny might be able to catch him, and there we go. A very, very clean round for Triumph. They keep 4 alive, and well, Liquid, they did incredibly well to take that 4 spy, but they weren't in the clear yet. Triumph still had cash in the bank. They've bounced right back off of it, kept it within 3 rounds. Now an opportunity for them to put themselves onto double digits and close this gap.
And that's a really clever little tricky boost to contend with there. You saw that Naf had absolutely no idea that it was coming through, loses the AWP as a result, and now it's actually Elige on the sniper rifle trying to take that initial shot towards the A bomb site. Should now throw that away. That AWP is all down to timing. He obviously wants to catch that first man, get to the angle first, take the shot, find the frag. It's just not going to happen. Now a 5 versus 5. With no real damage being dealt in the first 30 seconds of the 22nd round. I just love that round from Triumph as well. That puts them in good stead to try and break the Liquid buy. You see the money already being pressured. Twists back onto just a Famus. We've got an MP9 in play in the hands of Stewie2K. Oh, just a whisker away from that shot.
Triumph so far showing that they're a very T-sided team. We saw them having a lot of success on their T-side over on Inferno, often favouring that B-bomb site, and this is where they've been having a lot of success here on Overpass too. The initial trade comes in, no aggression off of it. There we go, as they start to push further. They do get shut to bed. Twists and Stewie2K able to find those initial engagements, but with Moose bouncing it back, brings things back into a 2-on-2. Alicia's on this long wraparound. It has been spotted, but he can't get taken out, and Naf's the one to finish things off. Team Liquid recover it nicely and put the 22nd in their favour.
Another powerful round once again from Liquid. That could have been even more dominant with the first initial players. Grim just missing that second shot. Gave Triumph an open door onto this B site. Nonetheless, just 3 away from the victory. Almost a mirror image of what we just saw earlier on Inferno. 13-9. And a nice powerful lead here. Not needing to take any tactical timeouts. Just continuing with this overwhelming pace. And keeping Triumph on the back foot here on the T side. Just unable to get towards that B-bomb site. Yes, they get a bomb down. But once again, Liquid have all of the building blocks in place for a solid, sturdy retake.
With both teams going back and forth, it means that they've been able to maintain a similar economy. You see the rifles, a single AWP on each side here in the 23rd. An important one for Triumph to try and pick up. If Liquid take it, they put themselves onto 14. They're then 1 away from match point with an opponent with no cash in the bank. Triumph know this is their best chance. If they can take this one, they might be able to string a couple together off of it. If they can keep this map in contention, they could even take this series 2-0. We need to see perfect CS from here on out for it, though. Being very, very cautious as they push over towards Fountain. The issue is they've already expended 50 seconds off of this clock. Not gained very much control whatsoever. And they don't have any info either. No sound cues have been heard. No Team Liquid defenders spotted out as of yet.
Oh.
This is dangerous.
There's the first bit of information, though. Naf actually catches 2 pairs of feet towards the toilets and should be able to double up on those kills. The smoke goes away to create a stalemate, and he is still in contention towards the A bomb site. Still a threat, even as Penny finds that initial frag. Stewie2K is roaming for a pair of shots. Leaves Junior a 1 versus 3 on the cards. This whole bomb site has been smoked, but feeling in need of a frag before he plants that bomb, and he's not able to merit it. Liquid are 14th, starting to chain them together now as we might be heading towards Nuke as a third and final map of this series. As Triumph just have so many rounds left to pull back if they want to bring this into contention. They need 7 out of 7 to win this in regulation. 6 out of the next 7 if they're even going to take this to overtime, Josh. I just can't see it happening, especially with a full eco in this 24th.
Absolutely. You go a couple of rounds back, 9-12, very, very doable for Triumph. Now, 9-14, more than likely 9-15. They'll need 6 in a row just to take it to OT, and I really don't fancy their chances. They have shown, once again, a lot of promise on their T side. They just couldn't take enough in the first. Obviously, it was an 11-4 half from Liquid. Triumph, they've done very well to pull back 5, but I don't think they're going to be allowed a whole lot more. Nice 1 from Ryan, but they're nowhere near this bomb site. Bomb down in no man's land, completely unretrievable, and they're just going to be mowed away by these rifles. They've done a good job to get a couple of kills there, but it doesn't really mean a whole lot at this point.
No, especially with Liquid on 15 rounds now, I don't think that those kills are really going to be much of a difference maker going into the last 6, of which Triumph, if they're going to pull this into a 2-0, need to take absolutely all of them. Backs up against the wall going into round number 25 here, and the AK-47's looking to bail them out of trouble. Liquid have played a much more confident, calm, just standard game of Counter-Strike here on Overpass. I feel like they've actually beaten Triumph to the punch, and that firepower disparity that we talked about before this series had even got started has now become very obvious. Liquid, they're hitting all of the shots. They seem to just be the better team in this one. And just a very confident map, all things considered. Now isolating these Ts towards the B bomb site with Sheikh Zula dropping first. And nobody else able to trade it up. They're just being ground to a halt by these flashbangs. And now Moose needs to hit one more shot as we trade to evens in the 3 versus 3. And Triumph still held away from B at an arm's length at the 70-second mark. They've got tons of time to play with. But Liquid, they're just holding serve.
A minute left on this clock. Triumph, they've had to backtrack. They might just wrap back round to this A bomb site, but as every second ticks, Liquid taking more and more control, realizing that Triumph have fallen away. They should start to rotate a player over, more than likely in the form of a Liege. Triumph not making any noise whatsoever, continuing to creep over towards this A bomb site. The real issue is with overpasses. Those CT rotations can come through very, very quickly. As soon as Naf has some info, he's going to call it. And when that Molotov rains through, here come the reinforcements. A must-win 1v3 for Triumph right now. And with Naf missing that initial shot, that's a lifeline for them to work with.
The HE also doesn't connect, so no preliminary damage dealt from Liquid, but a 3 versus 3 that they will decide to go for, and the information has been granted. There comes the Deagle, missing the first couple of shots, but leaving Moose a 1 versus 1 to pull through. Naf has all of the information. He's spawning out that cheeky gun barrel, and as the peek comes in, Moose does connect with the headshot. Naf drops. That's another round for Triumph on the board. 5 in a row now needed. But I'm not scared just yet. Liquid, they've got a lot of opportunities, Josh, to close this one out. Maybe not a lot of money going into round number 26, but they can throw the full save in, get a buy in the next round. These heavier economy players, Twist and Grim, these richer players can actually pick up a Deagle and armor. And everybody else just with maybe an upgraded pistol here and there. Naf, the only other player to throw in any sort of investment, just $1,500 or so there to level out the cash. Pretty uninteresting round it should be here for Triumph. They should get up to an 11th. And then, what do they have to win? 2 rifle rounds? I guess it won't be all 3 for Liquid. On the CT side, it can actually be quite costly to buy. And just being dismantled here on the 26th with only Twists. Once again, doing some damage. One deek here could have made things slightly more interesting, giving us a bit of a firecracker to work with, but 15-11.
Well, Squid, I'm not on the edge of my seat just quite yet. But if Triumph can win this next buy round, I'll start to edge towards it. It's dangerous stuff, this kind of scoreline. Liquid have to be careful, but as you say, they've got 4 rounds to play with. 4 match points here to close this one out. The real issue is the firepower here. A map like Overpass, you really want to have an AWP in hand. That's not available. Instead, in its place, there's only a FAMAS on Stewie. Limited utility on some of these guys as well. Triumph have got a good chance here of taking this one, but they need to win the gunfights. And as they start to push over towards long, they've got Naf to deal with.
Yeah, winning the gunfights is far easier said than done against a team like Liquid, where they've got so much firepower from top to bottom, but with Ryan connecting with that opening headshot, it puts a bit of pressure on this defense and thins out the 4 remaining CTs. Leaves a Liege just lying in wait behind this smoke. As it dissipates, needs to fall into a more passive line. Otherwise, surely the AWP will take him to task. I do like this angle, but it's the challenge from Junior that merits Triumph another frag. Opens up this A bomb site, and there's all the information granted. I'm sure they'll be pouring into this pointy letter anytime soon. They actually do have connect control. They're sat right outside of it, so the fast rotate is on the cards if they want this one. I think whichever bomb site they push towards will probably end successfully. Here for the T side, that bomb can very easily go down. There's no preventing this one for Team Liquid, because maybe they just want to cling onto these rifles. I don't know what the game plan is as the bomb goes away.
They're really locked out by these smokes. It makes it very, very difficult to find these kills. Stewie is able to get himself 1. Make that 2 as he finds Moose and another with the USP. This becomes close. in contention. There's no kit available on either of these players, so time is a massive factor. And I think Triumph might know it. They're playing this very deep, not
Oh
peeking.
no.
This might just work out, though. He's actually holding it, still holding the defuse, but oh my, Junior peaks at the final second, finds that kill. Very, very close rounds once again, but Triumph take the 12th.
Yeah, Stewie just has balls of steel. Pros absolutely do not fake, even without a defuse kit in hand. Tries to go for the full 10-second stick, and it just doesn't work out for him that time. I'm not sure if maybe Junior spotted out a crouching shoulder, perhaps. Maybe he had some information, obviously knew that there was the potential that that defuse would come in. But 15-12 nonetheless. Triumph bringing this one ever so close on Overpass. The 2-0, I guess it's still on the cards, especially with only the pistols coming out this time for Liquid. They really don't have a lot to work with going into the 28th. And again, Triumph should dismantle this pretty null and void buy. Penny already connect with these headshots, even spotting out a knee. About to give Grim a hip replacement, perhaps.
And if they can pull it off, which I'm not going to call it yet, it's very early days in the comeback. But if they can pull this off, how incredible would that be? Surely nobody would have expected a 2-0 from Triumph. Of course, winning that first map of Inferno, then to come into Overpass, claw back a comeback, take it to OT and win it there would be incredible stuff. And winning these rounds, they just draw ever so closer. Off the back of this, they should be able to have a relatively clean round 28, take it 15-13. Liquid will be on another buy-up, and if Triumph can take it, then they put themselves in a fantastic position to level it out and go to OT. Liquid will have very, very little to work with in the 30th. And Twist, he really just needs to do some damage here.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to. With Liquid on 15 rounds as well, it doesn't really matter how many kills he finds. Triumph can pretty much buy up into all of these remaining rounds. I just can't imagine him finding the 3 or 4 kills required to put any pressure on this eco. And realistically, every win is worth its weight in gold in the ESL Pro League. Triumph have gone 0-4 in their first matches, and none of those series have been particularly close. Their round difference is absolutely horrendous, to be perfectly honest with you. So a big series like this is really important, especially when you've already chomped through half of the best of 3s that you've got to play. You're trying to get into that top 4. I really don't think they'll be able to achieve that, considering like Liquid already 3-1, Furia they're 5-0 here in the group stage as well, with Evil Geniuses also picking up the pieces and dismantling most of their opponents. Triumph have kind of caught the short end of the stick here in this group stage. And remember, there's loads and loads of money on the line as well. Even just a slightly higher placing can grant you a couple of $1,000 extra, and you never want to be in those bottom couple of places and risk relegation in a tournament like this as well. You know that this is massive future-proofing for your organization. Lots of these teams' contracts actually rely on them having an ESL Pro League spot. That'll be one of the appealing factors to a team like Triumph, that these players, this organization does have a spot right here. And if they're unable to actually face the challenge that a Team Liquid or a Cloud9 might actually put together on the table, then they might actually lose their place at some point. 15-13, 2 rounds is the difference to try and get us to overtime. A short tactical timeout where once again Moses can get involved, that layer of experience to try and close out a series like this. I know it's a very publicly spoken about factor that Team Liquid actually have a couple of issues closing out important series. I would say that this is more of a comfort series for them. They're online. This is just a group stage match, so it's not a high pressure $100,000 on the line, but that is a massive mistake there from Sheikh Zula. I don't know if that was a classic scroll wheel jump, but loses that first frag, and that might actually lose them the map, unfortunately. That's really janky. M&J.
That's a real shame. That is a real shame. It might, it may have just not meant to be, Squid. Oh, with Elise finding that headshot as well. 5 versus 2. Looks like we might be settling this dispute on Nuke. Unless Junior and Moose can pull off something miraculous here. 5 guys to find. The bomb is in hand. So they start to walk over towards this A-bomb site. I think it's more than likely they just get shut down here, though.
That is so insane as well from Sheikh Zula. I just can't actually believe that that's the way that this map ends. Really unfortunate. You see Grim and Stewie just closing it off, and 16-13.